From 7:45 a.m. on Thursday to 6 a.m. this morning on Friday, for 23 incessant hours, nearly 500 journalists and other professionals of the Quintillion Media Group were held to the most intrusive ransom by India's tax officers. However, we are immensely proud of our team that gave them full access and cooperation, often pointing actually towards information and assets that they may have missed during their search and survey operations. But then when we woke up after a 3-hour sleep this morning, we were astonished to see that a blatant attempt had been made by the government's spin masters to say that the action was part of a year-long investigation into some long-term capital gains, LTCG scam, whereby Raghav Behel, that's myself, and my wife Ritu Kapoor had made bogus income of 118 crores. Now, without much ado, here are the facts of that case. These are facts, not claims. All these and other gains losses were fully detailed and declared in the appropriate year of the tax filings. And note this one, more importantly, do note it. These were accepted and assessed to tax, and this happened under this very government. So really, the attempt to color our tax returns now as bogus is clearly a frame-up, and we shall take every legal recourse to protect our fair name and reputation in this case. But this also alerted us to the imminent possibility that more such frame-ups shall be now attempted. Therefore, I will pick up from some of the key points of yesterday's interrogation. We would like to put the facts, again, no claims, these are facts for the non-partisan and fair people who are watching this video to judge for themselves. Point number one, cash and jewelry at home. All that was recovered was 3.56 lakh rupees in Indian currency and about 33 lakhs in modern and ancestral jewelry, and almost all of this came from my 82-year-old mother's cupboard. Now tell me, these assets are in any case duly assessed and declared in past returns, but tell me, is it really that surprising that people of that age and that generation feel very secure holding such a moderate amount within physical proximity of themselves? Point number two, flat in London. Since both our children expect to or have graduated from a university in London, we decided as a family to invest most of our legally permitted LRS remittances, which currently are at $250,000 per family member per year. We thought we'll pool all of this in buying access to such an asset. So we made a booking in a new apartment building a few years back. We did that and pooled our annual LRS remittances, the entire family, for this purpose. Now all of this has been fully declared in Schedule F of our income tax filings. In fact, yesterday at least about half a dozen times these tax officers asked us whether we had fully declared these assets in Schedule F, including all details of overseas bank accounts. When we answered, and we answered half a dozen times in the positive, we could see that they were a bit disappointed. Number three, the Reliance India transaction. Now the focus shifted to the sale of our shares in Network 18 to Reliance Industries in 2014. We very promptly gave them a copy of the share sale agreement and full access to past emails on this subject. They then followed up with several questions about the status of the current subsidiaries of Network 18, and all we could say was that we have no access to any information after our exit, and they just simply have to reach out to Network 18 for that information. Point number four, Viacom 18 joint venture. Now there was much confusion around this joint venture, which actually was done way back, 10 years back. They seemed to imply that it was done as a round-tripping exercise, that too by TV18, and that too in connivance with Viacom, which is a global corporation. And they also repeatedly confused this transaction with other subsidiaries and companies, including Home Shop 18 and India Film Company. From memory, we did try and set the record straight, but we did ask them to reach out to Network 18 for further details. Point number five, Bloomberg Quint joint venture. Now this one was frankly truly surprising. because they kept on insisting that we had got 10 crore rupees from Bloomberg invested in the joint venture without a formal FIPB clearance. In fact, at one stage, and you won't believe this, at one stage, they even asserted that this was a case of round tripping again, that Bloomberg was now conniving with us in putting 10 crore rupees into a company without any approval. But when we produced a copy of our FIPB approval for this investment by Bloomberg in Quintillion Media Private Limited, which is what the joint venture company is called, well, they had no option other than to accept this fact. Now, as an aside, there's been a report in a leading pink paper on Friday morning that the nearly 2-year delay in receiving approval for Bloomberg Quint's TV channel is because the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, has raised some quote-unquote security concerns. Now, we challenge the government to put that MHA report on this subject in the public domain. We can say with absolute 100% confidence that MHA has given us a categorical clearance on security grounds. So the delay is on some other account. Point number 6, linked to Advantage / Artivia / Reddy. They asked us whether we had ever had any transaction with either Advantage Consulting or Artivia Digital UK, or one gentleman by the name of Mr. C.B.N. Reddy. Our answer was absolutely quick and categorical. No. No caveats, no qualifications. We have never had any transactions with any of these entities. And finally, there were collateral raids on our downstream joint ventures. There were very similar and simultaneous surveys that were carried out at our investee companies, namely the News Minute in Bangalore, Quint India, which is not even a media company, it's a technology company in Bangalore, and Youth Ki Awaaz in Delhi. Now, if the search survey was linked to some transactions of ours that took place in 2014, then why were these investee companies searched in the same investigation? All of our investments in these companies have taken place after 2015. In any case, we do not control them on a day-to-day basis. We are passive investors. So then why were these companies targeted? Clearly, it is very clear. It was a fishing expedition to spread the net wide and somehow catch something. And one more thing surprised us a lot, the use of private digital experts in a tax search. Now, this one actually astounded us. Since this was our first such experience, we had no clue that the digital experts used to clone data and do other digital surveillance during such raids belong not to the tax department but to private contractors. They are private contractors, not government tax inspectors. So where is the privacy of this key data? I mean, who is responsible for its misuse? What indemnity do we have? Now, this is an issue that requires very serious deliberation and comment. And of course, we reserve our right to take further action here. We also will urge that this issue be taken up by private activists and concerned citizens. Therefore, in conclusion, we reiterate that we are absolutely in the clear, that we shall mount a robust legal defense against every trumped-up charge that is brought against us, that we are making these disclosures to preempt further character assassination against us, to thwart attempts through leaks, plants and trolls, that we warn our fellow news colleagues to be vigilant against similar state vendetta. And of course, we must end by thanking everybody, and there was a groundswell of support all across. Thank everybody who stood by us and supported us. This battle shall be fought, and note my words, we shall not lose it.